Hello, everybody, and welcome to Here's the Lore. My name is Lauren Hoffman, and I am so beyond excited to bring this podcast to life. I feel as though this has been a long time coming. It's been in the process for about a month now. I think I dropped the idea like the second or third week of December, and here we are now, the second or third week of January, finally putting it out for you guys. So I do apologize, but I am so excited to bring this podcast to life and bring kind of a new concept, I feel as though, to podcasts, or at least to the podcasts that I listen to. I feel as though in the podcast realm and market, there's a lot of lifestyle, fitness, Diary of a CEO, a bunch of those podcasts that I feel as though are very informational and you can take a lot away from them. But sometimes as a 20-year-old, we're kind of like figuring out what to buy from the grocery store or what music I should listen to, what's the coming out movies that I should watch. Little things that go on our radar that maybe are a little less important than paying your taxes or paying your taxes on time or different features that we listen to within podcasts of adults and young adults. So I feel as though Here's the Lore is going to provide a whole different type of podcast to the market. Maybe I'm wrong, but I hope that this brings a liveliness and a little laugh out of your everyday life. I think there's so many things I go through that are relatable, but at a time I don't even think they're relatable. And I feel as though I'm like the only person going through the situation. And that is kind of why I want to bring on guests and just talk about different circumstances that we all go through as college students. There are so many funny stories, funny moments that you kind of hold in your head and you're just like, that's probably never happened to anybody else. But it totally has. And that's why I want this platform to just be fun, be a good time, feel as though a friend that you're listening to or a friend that you can chat with. And I am so, so excited to finally get this out there. I apologize for kind of the little delay in the podcast. In all honesty, I am going to make an excuse, and this will be my only excuse. And then I'll talk about what is an excuse. Um, because I think I've been holding in an excuse that I haven't told anybody. So we'll get to the actual excuse first. The actual excuse is that we were getting our carpet done upstairs, and this was right kind of when I released the idea. I was painting my chairs, I was having all this stuff done, and then I kind of put it on pause, put everything into my bathroom because, like I said, they were tearing up our carpet, putting new carpet. So nothing could be in my room, in my closet, anywhere. So everything that you throw under your bed that you've never seen for like 3 years, just imagine taking that all out and shoving that into your bathroom. I physically couldn't use my bathroom. And so they're here to replace the carpet, they're tearing it out, and they realize that the wrong carpet was ordered, the wrong style, the wrong color. And so we have all this carpet ripped up, and there's just hardwood planks and there's no carpet. And so that happens before Christmas, and with the holiday season, it took about till last week to get our new carpet in, maybe a couple days, even before a week ago. And now we finally have new carpet, but it's kind of been a little pain because the microphone was thrown in my bathroom, different things were thrown in my bathroom, and I didn't really have the headspace to pull it out and then put it back away. And I just wanted to get situated. I am somebody who I need to have a clean space, clean environment to have a clean mental headspace, and we're finally there. And so I do apologize for that little delay. We have great new carpet, everything worked out, and it's all done. But what I do want to talk about, which is not an excuse, and I've been holding it as an excuse, is my voice of judgment. I have been kind of scared to get on here, kind of been scared to start a podcast because I think that I was talking to somebody actually about this morning. It's great that we have so much access to different information on social media and all of that, but I think it's harder to put yourself out there. It's harder to have the confidence to try something new when you know that anybody and everybody could access that and talk about you behind your back and say, maybe that's stupid, that's foolish, like that's annoying, that's gross. Who would ever think that? And as much as I want to say that I have the confidence to avoid feeling as though people judge me, people are always going to judge you in life. And it's kind of how you go around it and who you surround yourself with to make you feel as though that is not the case. But I kind of had to figure that out. FIL, that is one of the acronyms that I learned in 2025 that I'm bringing from my life on is figuring it out, right? You have to figure it out. I think there are points where actually my friends asked me, they're like, Lauren, when's your podcast going to come out? And I just hit them with the carpet excuse, all this. And it actually comes back to feeling too scared to put it out there. I have filmed about 5 podcast episodes, if I'm going to be honest with you. The first one was just, it wasn't in the right space. I was just trying to understand how to use a mic, how to talk. The second one, oh, it was awful, guys. I'm going to be honest. I didn't even want to listen to myself. And that's another thing is you need to listen to yourself to edit what you don't want, what you do want. Maybe you're using too many filler words. The third one, I looked atrocious. I just got out of a workout and my hair was just something else. And here I am sitting with my road eye patches on right now. And I'm trying to normalize just feeling relatable, looking relatable, and just being myself and who I am. I'm not somebody to put on makeup if I don't have to. And so I'm not going to sit here and get all dolled up for you. I wish I would. I wish I could, but it's not who I am. And I just looked atrocious. I was like, oh my gosh, nobody is seeing me. One of the reasons I wanted to do this podcast was to try the video feature, not just do audio. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I look atrocious, atrocious. And the fourth one I filmed actually yesterday, and I thought I could do better. And so here I am, the fifth time. This is the podcast that you guys are going to see. And I think, in all honesty, I wanted it to be perfect. I'm a perfectionist. I want things to be perfect. And you really have to realize that your first time is never going to be perfect. You just need to get it out there. You just need to get it done. And I am somebody who will work on things until it's perfect so that I'm scared to show somebody that it's not perfect and it just needs to be better and they won't approve of my first draft, but it's a draft. It is, you need to take the criticism and the feedback and okay, I could do that better on that one and then take it to the next one. And that is continual growth, continual perfection. You're getting better each time, but if you hold in that one thing for so long and then drop it, there's no time for criticism, there's no time for feedback, and time is precious. Each day goes by, and I wasted how many days of break not wanting to do this, not wanting to sit in this chair and talk. And I think that's very important is that I just need to get this out there. I want any feedback you guys have. I apologize if I'm using too many filler words. It's something new for me is to talk to myself. Well, I talk to myself a lot, but talking to a camera is kind of weird. I am somebody who is always scared of what is going to come out of my mouth next. I don't know what's back there. And I think that comes when I get older and I'm nervous about speeches. I used to not care. But I think with being in the room with older people who might be more knowledgeable, I feel as though, oh my gosh, like, what am I going to say? Am I going to sound stupid? And so kind of getting over myself with that, but please provide any feedback, any criticism, anything. I want this to be amazing. I want it to be great. I want you to want to listen to this, and I want this to have a purpose. So please feel as though you can say anything and everything, but maybe keep any negativity on the DL. That's too mean. But I think voice of judgment is something that we deal with a lot, and it holds us back from doing amazing things and great things. And I think you would kind of have to be stupid to be successful sometimes. You have to take the risk. You have to be like, duh, like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just going to do it. And sometimes you have to be oblivious. And I'm trying to be as knowledgeably oblivious right now as I can. So that's what I'm going to tell you about that. But there's this voice of judgment in your head, and I hope that someday you can identify maybe a time where you're like, "Oh gosh," or to be honest, here's more a relatable instance, but I'm going on a date tomorrow. Oh, 2026. I have not gone on a date in a while. I kind of push myself, just I'm I'm good on my own. I'm good doing my routine. I'm good doing everything around that, but letting somebody in is kind of scary for me. I don't know, I just feel as though I'm disappointed sometimes when I do let people in, and I'm trying not to have high standards, but that voice of judgment in my head was getting me so nervous about tomorrow, and I'm like, "Lauren, just be yourself. If anything, it's just a good time. You meet somebody." And that's what I'm trying to channel, but there's that voice of judgment in my head that's like, "You know what? Like, maybe nobody likes you," which that's so far-fetched, so stupid, but I'm gonna admit it, like, that's some things I think, and that it sounds crazy voicing it out right now, like, I'm just kind of like, "Oh my gosh, I say that stuff to myself," but a lot of people do, and it stops you from feeling happy or excited or passionate about something, and so that is something I just wanted to bring up, is voice of judgment. Realize when maybe your negatively self-talk is self-sabotaging you. Get over it, think positive, and go about your day, because I'm going to have a great time tomorrow. I'll update you guys in the littlest details as possible, because I do want that to kind of be a private part of my life, but that is something that I'm excited for, but where I can apply voice of judgment to maybe something or somewhere where you guys feel as though it has hit you. Another thing I wanted to talk about with this podcast is that there's always going to be a start point, right? There's always going to be a start point in your life over something, a new hobby, a new passion, maybe a sport, maybe you're cooking for the first time, right? There's always a start point, and there's always a way to be improved. I found this. It says that you are allowed to be new at this. You are allowed to be new at this. I started a job at Abercrombie over the winter, and it's good. It's retail experience, but some of these things I'm just like, I don't know this. I don't know how to answer this question. Like, how do I not know how to answer that question? It's retail, it's clothing. Like, how do I not know how to answer that customer's question? But I'm new at this. I am new. It's okay to be like, I do not know, but let me go ask somebody that does know. That is totally fine. And I think I need to give myself more grace for that. I think we all need to give ourselves more grace for that, because we all are new at something. And if we don't allow ourselves to be new, if we don't allow ourselves to try anything, what's the fun in that, right? You're never going to change. You're never going to grow. Life's just going to be the same. And so I'm okay. I'm good. I'm okay, right? Like, I am doing this, and it's a start point. And I hope that you can find something, maybe a new hobby. I know multiple people that are going abroad. You guys are just starting. You're literally just getting there. There's so much that you're going to learn, so much that you're going to grow. And I can't speak from experience because I didn't go abroad, but remember that that's a starting point. You're starting an internship over the summer. You literally have a week of just probably regular routine stuff that you're going to learn, and then you're going to feel more comfortable and confident, but you're new at it. And there's so many things you're new at. Maybe you're new at a leadership position in an organization. You're new at dating somebody. You're new at, I don't know, there's just so many things. New at running, new at walking. It's okay to be new, and that's something that you should be proud of. And that's kind of something I wanted to talk about, because I need to hear that more. And I feel like just us being in our 20s, a lot of people seem as though they have it figured out, and I don't think a lot of people do. That's something I wanted to talk about. These eye patches, like, every time I look down, are, like, getting in my eyes, so it's probably whatever, but I did say I was going on a date, and I did say it was private, but I do want to honor myself for my start to 2026. 2025 put me through the ringer. It was so hard. I think looking back, and maybe you tell yourself this, right? I'm always giving my 110%. I'm always giving myself 101%. And I did this activity in school and a teacher helped me with this. I'm going to talk a lot about this class because it was life-changing. It has altered my life. I feel as though there's been so many positives that have outweighed the negatives from this class, but we did this little activity because I was freaking out in office hours. I'm like, "Who am I? What have I done with myself? I'm not I don't know. I was just having a little life crisis at the age of 20." And my professor goes, "Draw a circle." And I want you guys to do this too if you have free time. Draw a circle, and that's your life. You have 100% of your pie. And I want you to divide it into different little sections and organize in percentages how much you think you give to each activity in your life. Maybe you work out 15%. Maybe hanging with this group of friends is 5%. Maybe studying for your MCAT, studying for this class is 10%. All these things, divvy it up into 100%. Because at the end of the day, you really only have 100% to give. And I think about that because you say you're going at 110%, but you're really just burning yourself out. Because if you're giving 110%, it honestly means that you're not giving enough to each thing. You're probably putting so much more into one activity than another. And operating at 110% when you only have 100% to give, you're going to ruin it. You're going to burn yourself out. And I feel as though I was doing that. I wanted to do all of this, but I also wanted to do something new. And I couldn't do something new with doing all of this. And I had to learn what a trade-off was. And you would think you know what a trade-off is, but until you have to make a physical trade-off and give something up, whether it's a job, like I gave up my Classic Ford Broncos job, and I have had that for 2-ish years, and I was making good money. It was something I was passionate about. I was using it for my marketing experience. I was running a huge, massive following for Instagram, about 300,000 followers, 350,000 followers. Were looking at things that I created, I posted, and it was a great opportunity, right? But it wasn't something that I was itching to do every day. I wasn't passionate about it every day. And I feel, honestly, I didn't say, or I didn't tell my boss that I was going to step away till like the first week I got back from break. But I identified that 2 months before I did that. And the worst moment is when you're like, you let it go, you feel so relieved, and you're just like, wait, why didn't I do that sooner? Why didn't I do that sooner? And so, one thing I want you guys to realize is what a trade off is. Maybe you have a trade off in your life. And because I was able to step away from that, I am allowing you space to start this podcast and start something I am more passionate about. And so, realize what a trade off is. And honestly, when you guys make a trade off and you take the risk to make the trade off, you're going to feel so relieved. You're going to want to have done it quicker, faster. And the second you do it and the second you make your first trade off, you're going to realize how trade offs aren't that scary. And like I said, 2025 put me through the ringer. I was trying to put in so much, and I think little came out of it. But what I do want to say and kind of close my podcast about is that you go through some hard times sometimes. But when you're celebrating and you're over the victory line and you're having all this fun, like 2026 is going to be my year. I know it. I have limited my people pleasing. I know going back to school, I will be hanging out with the people that I intentionally want to hang out with. The intention of hanging out with people that are going to fill up my bucket and I'm going to fill up theirs. And I feel as though last semester I kind of was just trying to give my all to everybody and everything. And it just wasn't going well. It was a lot. And coming into 2026, I have a good routine. I have good habits in place. Feel good about myself. I'm feeling more confident in my shoes. I'm trying new things. I'm going on a date, right? All these different things. But 2025, like I said, so exhausting. But I needed that to happen to realize that I needed to make a change. And I also needed different things in 2025 that put stress on me. Stress is good. Stress means that you are working hard. You really care about something, you're really passionate, right? I had so much stress trying to find an internship, and now I have one. Now I get to go have fun in my internship, right? I get to go do these things. I get to go learn in my internship, but I had to go through the bad to get to the good. I like I care so much about my grades, right? Now I'm going on a trip next week to New York City that is fully paid for and more as though a donor is investing in my knowledge, my growth, and my passion of wanting to be an entrepreneur. I was hand selected from an like our department, our program, the entrepreneurship program, to go on this trip as a female, like one of seven. And so that is something that I have worked so hard for. And now I am having amazing benefits to that. But you need to go back and you can't just be like, okay, I'm done with the hard times. Like, oh, good thing those are over. You need to realize that sometimes the good happens because of the bad. The good happens because of the bad. And if you push away the bad, you're never going to fully appreciate the good, in my opinion. And so, what I'm going to tell you, don't forget about those bad moments. When you're in a bad moment, just know that it's going to benefit you someday later on. And I'm going to have a great year. I'm going on multiple trips. I know people are saying the year of the horse, but let me just tell you, I am riding a horse in Jackson Hole this summer, and I am so excited, so pumped. Literally the year of the horse. Maybe that will be my caption on Instagram. I'm already marketing in my head. But this is going to be my year. I hope that it's all of your years. If you feel as though you've had a rough start, reset. You get to change so much throughout a year. It's 12 months. And if you stay the same in a year, like that's literally impossible. Like, don't do that. Try new things, right? I went on a 2-mile run and I'm like, Lauren, when did you ever run in your life? Well, not much, but I did. I did yesterday. And so that's what I gotta say. I hope you have enjoyed listening to this podcast a little bit. Maybe you've learned something, maybe you've taken away something. Maybe you want to see or hear something else. I really want to bring in guests. I love talking to myself. I talk to myself all day, every day. But it would be great to just have conversation. I'm a people person. I love hearing different people's diverse perspectives, and I can't wait to bring somebody else onto the show. Really, I just wanted to get this in place first, get a first draft done, sent, and shared, and really just understand where I'm going to go from here and finally figure it out. So I hope you have enjoyed listening to Here's the Laur. Have a great rest of your day and look forward to the next episode. But see you guys soon. Bye.